Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S4 4046, The Drinking Gourd, a story of the Underground Railroad by F.N. Munjo, pictures by Fred Brenner. Chapter 1, Fishing in Church. Tommy Fuller put his right hand in his pocket. There was his apple. Then he put his left hand in his other pocket. There was his ball of fishing line. "Oh, quit wiggling," whispered his brother Sam. "Sit up straight," whispered his brother Andy. It was late afternoon. The three boys were in church. They had been there all day long. Mother and father were downstairs with grandmother Dudley and the rest of the grown-ups. All the children sat upstairs in the gallery. The girls were on one side, the boys were on the other. Across the way, Tommy saw his sisters, Helen, Kate, and Rachel. Tommy took a big bite of his apple. Then he took 3 more bites. Out of the window, he could see a flock of geese pecking at the grass on the village green below. "Let us sing hymn 263, said the minister, Reverend Morse. Everyone stood up. They sang, "Oh God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come." Tommy reached for his fishing line. He tied one end around the apple core. "You'll be sorry," said Andy. Tommy opened the church window and threw out the apple core. 3 geese waddled over to see what it could be. A goose picked on the apple core. "Come on, goose," said Tommy. The second goose clamped the core tightly in a wide bill. Tommy, it tugged on the line. The goose rose up into the air. "Got her," said Tommy softly. The goose squawked and fluttered. She would not let go. All the other geese hissed and squawked and cackled too. They made such a racket that the noise filled the church. Everyone stopped singing. Reverend Morse looked up at the gallery. "Deacon Fuller," said Reverend Morse, "I'm afraid it's Thomas again." Mama stamped up into the gallery. "Thomas Dudley Fuller," he said. Until that thing loosed, Tommy dropped the line. The goose fluttered to the ground. Father led Tommy out of the church. "You march straight home, sir," said Father, "and go to your room." Then he went back into the church and banged the door behind him. Chapter 2, The Runaways. Tommy walked along, thinking of spankings. It was dark when he reached home. Tommy could see the evening stars. He went to the barn to say hello to the horses. Father had named them Daniel Webster and Henry Clay. Tommy gave them each an apple. "You don't have to be good in church, do you?" Tommy said. The horses stamped and snorted. Tommy saw the hay wagon piled high with hay. He wanted to jump from the hayloft down into all that hay in the wagon. So up he climbed into the loft. "Look at me," he hollered. Daniel Webster, Henry Clay. Then he jumped into the hay wagon. 2 hands squawked. "Something in the dim loft," he said. Uh-huh. It sounded like a baby crying. "Who is there?" said Tommy. Daniel Webster stamped his hoof. Tommy climbed back into the loft to see what had made the noise. "Who's there?" Tommy hollered. "Stop right there," said a deep voice. "You won't take us alive." A black man stood up, covered up with with hay. He had an axe in his hand. Tommy was so frightened he fell back into the hay. "Oh my goodness, Vinny," said the man. "It's only a little boy." The man dropped the axe he held. "We're just hiding," he said, smiling. "We won't hurt you." "Does father know you're here?" said Tommy. What? What are you doing in our barn?" "Is Deacon Fuller your daddy?" Tommy nodded his head. "Yeah, he hid us here," said the man. A little boy stood up beside him. "That's my boy, little Jeff," said the man. "I am Big Jeff. This is my wife, Vinny, and this is baby Pearl. We're running away." "Running away?" said Tommy. "We're going to Canada," said Vinny. "We're up from Carolina," said Jeff. "We've been following the Drinking Gourd every step of the way." "Drinking Gourd?" said Tommy. "What's that?" "Shoot, boy," said little boy. "You mean you never heard of the Drinking Gourd? I'll show you." Little Jeff jumped down from the loft and ran to the barn door. Up in the wintry sky shone the stars. Little Jeff pointed to the Big Dipper caught in the branches of an elm. "That's the Drinking Gourd." "No, that's the Big Dipper," said Tommy. "Oh, same thing," said Little Jeff. "The front end of the Drinking Gourd points straight up to the North Star. Follow the North Star and you get to Canada. Get to Canada and you be free." "Thomas Dudley Fuller," said father from the shadow. Didn't I tell you to wait in your room?" "Father," said Tommy, surprised, "I found Jeff and Vinny." "I see who you found." "You found all my passengers," said father. "Don't ask any question. Help hitch up the horses. We've got to get started." Chapter 3. On the Underground Railroad. Tommy and father sat in the wagon. Jeff and Vinny and little Jeff and baby Pearl were hidden in the hay. They were driving toward the river. "I've been a slave all my life, Tommy," said Jeff, sitting up in the hay. "Until 2 weeks ago, that was the day I decided we would run away to Canada on the Underground Railroad." "The Underground Railroad?" said Tommy. "Shoot, boy," said little Jeff. "You never heard about that neither?" "You see, Tommy," said his father, "the Underground Railroad isn't a real railroad with steam engines and tracks and cars. It's a secret group of people who believe slavery is wicked. They live in homes and farms like ours, stretching from here to Canada. Everybody in the group hires people like Jeff and Vinny, helping them get away, and they got stations on the Underground Railroad," said little Jeff. "Like our barn," said Tommy. "And they got conductors," said Jeff. "Like me," said father. "They got passengers," said Vinny. "Like us," said little Jeff. "They call it underground," said father. "Because it's a secret, every bit of it has to be a secret." "You're right," said Jeff. "We a valuable property. My old master lost $2,500 when he lost us. If he lost a penny, then I'm sure he'll send some men to try to catch you," said father. "So you get back down under that hay. Nobody's going to catch me," said Jeff, "as long as I got my axe." And Jeff and Vinny and little Jeff and baby Pearl all hid from sight. Tommy said Fuller, "Don't say a word to anybody about what happened tonight. Jeff is a brave man. I would hate to see a brave man sent back into slavery. Promise?" "I promise," said Tommy. "Who are horses?" said father. "This is the end of the line. I have to find the boat now. It's hidden here on the riverbank." Father walked into the dark horses. "Oh, Whippoorwill called." Chapter 2. Tommy heard hoofbeats on the road. He saw lantern bobbing. 4 men on horseback rode up to the wagon and stopped. The men got down from their horses. "Say, young fellow," said the leader, "I'm a U.S. Marshal. These are my men. We are going to search the wagon. We're looking for runaways." "Runaways?" said Tommy. "A Negro slave," said the marshal, "his wife and 2 children." There's a new reward for them. You wouldn't have them hidden in this wagon, would you, boy? Tommy's mouth was dry. You don't find anything but hay in this wagon, he said. Maybe we better search it anyway, said the marshal. Tommy was scared. He thought about little Jeff and the others hidden in the hay. If the marshal found them, he would send them back down south. They would have to be slaves. They would never be free. Marshal, said Tommy, I guess I better tell you all about it. You see, I'm Tommy Fuller and I'm running away myself. You Deacon Fuller's boy, said the marshal. That's right, said Tommy. Hush, said the marshal. This is the boy. Made all that fuss in church this afternoon, fishing for geese? All the men laughed. Father was boiling mad, said Tom. He was going to give me a licking, so I ran away. You're chasing the wrong wagon, boys, said the marshal. You better go home to your pa, Tommy, and take your licking. Yes, sir, said Tommy, and next time you go fishing, tell your pa, I want you to catch me 2 ducks and a nice fat turkey. That's an order. All the men laughed, then they rode away. Chapter 5. Over the river. Father came out of the shadows. Jeff and Vinny sat up in the hay. Jeff's axe was still in his hand. Tommy, you did just fine, said Father. I thought the marshal would find us sure enough this time, said Jeff. Jeff was too scared to speak. Take the wagon back alone, Tommy, and said Father, we have to row across to the next station. Little Jeff jumped into the boat. Jeff jumped into the two. He helped Vinny and Baby Pearl get settled. A whip-poor-will called. Father started rowing away. Tommy heard a dip and splash of the oars in the water. Goodbye, little Jeff, Tommy whispered. Goodbye, whispered little Jeff. Goodbye, whispered Jeff and Vinny. Father rode into the darkness, and then the boat was gone. Chapter 6. The Lawbreakers. It was late when Tommy got home. Everyone was asleep. But Mother, she gave Tommy some supper. Is Father all right? Said Mother. Tommy told her what had happened. Then she sent him up to bed. But Tommy stayed awake, waiting for Father to come home. He heard the front door slammed and Father came up to his room. Tommy said, Father, I believe in obeying the law, but you and I broke the law tonight. The law says we were wrong to help Jeff and Vinny get away. I know, Father, said Tommy. But can't you choose the law? I've been trying, said Father. We've been trying for years and years. It will be changed. But right now, the law says Jeff and Vinny are another man's property. Property same as a horse or a cow. Property worth $2,500, but Jeff and Vinny are people, said Tommy. Yes, said Father, that's why I can't obey that law. That's why I hate it. It's wrong. Then he kissed his son goodnight and closed the door. Tommy lay in bed thinking about little Jeff and others. If they just get to Canada, in a whisper, they can be free. Out of his window, he could see the bright North Star and pointing up to it. The end.